Hey guys, RedPanda Mining here. Hope you're doing well. Having a really great day this video. Okay, I gotta say goodbye to this miner right here. This is the Elphapex DG2 Plus. I am now gonna ship it off. Alphaex has basically loaned this to me for like, I think a good month to test it out. I've done a lot of testing already with like NiceHash, PowerPool, via BTC, Litecoinpool.org, and it all works. So for anyone that's been looking to get into the new DG2 Plus model for Scrypt mining, it's definitely one of the best. Extremely reliable. Same with a bunch of the other older Alphaex models, which I can attest to. I've had them for more than a year now. And yeah, these are great miners, but I gotta pack this thing up and ship it to the next content creator. And that is gonna be Mr. Rabid Mining. Mr. Rabid Mining. If you're watching this, my friend, this is going to you. So I gotta say goodbye to this miner, which has been quite profitable, Everyone knows Scrypt mining, I think with L7s, L9s, Alphaex units, you know, they're all extremely profitable miners because of Dogecoin, of course. So I wanted to go through on, you know, just talking about just Scrypt miners in general right now. I think there's been a lot of questions that I've been getting regarding RedPanda. Should I get into Scrypt mining? Should I buy new Scrypt miners now? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, my top level opinion is just gonna be, you need to have cheap electric. Okay, like under 8 or 9 cents electric to be able to sustain mining with these types of miners, to be able to gain a profit. Okay, that's my opinion, overall arching opinion, but I want to go through some finer details. So I'll see you guys in the computer. And actually, let me pack this up, so I'll see you after a word from today's video sponsor.
CryptominerBros.com. Since 2018, Cryptominer Bros has been the go-to source for all the top crypto miners trusted by miners worldwide. The prices you see on their website includes shipping and DDP to your door, so there are no surprises at checkout. They ship to over 100 countries and even offer lower invoicing to help you save on customs fees. Pay with direct bank transfer or crypto payments such as Bitcoin, USDT, or Caspa. Ready to save even more? Use code RedPanda at checkout for $70 off each ASIC ordered. Join tens of thousands of satisfied customers who trust Cryptominer Bros for their successful hardware fulfillment, transparent pricing, and world-class service. Visit CryptominerBros.com today, link down below.
I gotta give Rabid some of my stickers. Comment down below. If you guys want a set of RPM stickers, I will choose a winner after about, I don't know, 12 hours after this video is uploaded. Get your comments down below of what you think about crypto as a whole right now. That's it. Let me know down below. All right, Mr. Rabid Mining, gonna give you a set of my stickers. Here we go. I'll put it in here. There you go, man. Just for you. I also put in my own power cable just for you because I know you'll probably won't have this. So Alphaex owes me because they didn't provide a cable for me. So, but I'm gonna give you one because I bought a few extra. All right, should be all good now, all packed up. Nice foam packaging, actually. All right, it's all good. Okay, I'll see you guys on the computer.
Okay, so looks like we're going back up on the market here as of recording. Looks good. I know last week or two we had that Binance cascading liquidation event that happened and a lot of the altcoins went down, but Scrypt mining has sustained in a sense, if you have decent electrical costs or if you're getting it hosted. Yeah, I think, yeah, not a lot of residential miners are probably Scrypt mining unless they had free power or solar. Then again, they're probably using a lot of older models to be running on solar, that is. But a lot of big boy miners, L7s and whatnot, are still making a couple bucks a day. I know L7s are 4 or 5 years old now, but there are a lot of the newer models, DG1 Plus, DG2, which we just reviewed last month. Thanks to Alphapex for sending that to me to review. That makes about 12 bucks a day. DG2 Plus, which I just sent out to Rabid, makes about 15 bucks a day. But of course, you know, looking at the L11 Pro, you know, all these other miners, Volkminer D3 is a new one that's just coming out. Look at the efficiency across all these models, right? We're talking marginal, like 1-2 points in efficiency gain across these new models that have been coming out. So Bitmain, Volkminer, Alphapex, they all have the exact same, pretty much the exact same efficiency here. Like we're talking, you know, 2 or 3 points. Okay. But yeah, the Elphapex units, pretty good, right? I've tested the Elphapex DG2 Plus now at about 70 Fahrenheit. I was getting about 0.18 in a watt per hash. So that's pretty much nearing up the Bitmain L11 Pro even, okay, even guesstimating the power usage being a little bit higher because depending on your ambient, I mean, that's the case with all of these Scrypt miners, even Bitcoin miners, depending on your environment, it plays the part. So if you have higher ambient temperatures, the power consumptions are obviously going to go up. So the efficiency is going to get worse, which you can see here. I've tested different Fahrenheit numbers on the DG2. Okay, so if you want to check out this list, this Google Sheet, I have it linked down below in the description if you'd like. I also have various links down to the various resellers if you're looking for these types of miners with the coupons. But anyways, the Elphapex units, I'm going to have to say these units are one of the best. I have about 8 of the Elphapex DG1 Pluses myself running right now, and these are workhorses. Like, they're extremely reliable. I have not had a single issue yet. Other people I've talked to, their Alphapex units are the best. They're working nonstop. Then when it comes to the Bitmain L9 units, I know Bitmain doesn't have a great track record, but I think the Bitmain L9 is also a solid unit. I have heard a couple people that have had issues with L9s, but it's nothing crazy. It's also just like the L7s. The L7s are tanks and are still very, very good miners, but they're not as efficient anymore, right? They're 4 or 5 years old. Okay, so 0.36 in watt per hash. And then as we go up, right, another 10, 11 points, we got the DG2s, L11s, L9s in efficiency. So pretty big jump in efficiency, but I think depending on your electrical cost, of course, the L7 could probably still stand the test of time. I know there's plenty of people with 2 cents electric out there, and the L7 makes about $8 a day right now. So the L7, I think they are selling for like $1,900 right now at some places. I know ASL Miner was really selling those for cheap, but yeah, these miners, depending on your electric, of course, if you want to make a profit from this and you're scaling, you got to have cheap electric, okay? At this point, I think scaling at home residentially, unless you have the latest and greatest miners, I mean, the L9, even at like, let's say 15 cents per kilowatt hour, is still able to generate profit, okay, $5 a day. So it's still decent, but come bear market, okay, Dogecoin is probably not going to sustain at its, 19 cents right now. I'm not saying the bear market's coming soon, but just understand the risk. When you're buying older models, inefficient models, they're not going to fare as well during the bear market. Okay, so just understand the risks involved. Also, if you're getting the bigger boy miners, the newer, more efficient miners, you're going to be able to sustain much longer if there is a bear market, right? But if there's a bull run, then your new units that you have, if you can front the capital, of course, okay, that's another thing. Getting into the big boy miners, you need a lot of money to get in. You're going to be able to take advantage of the profitability, okay? And yeah, depending on your electric, of course, these things can make double digits even right now, which is pretty nice. So Scrypt mining is doing great as of right now. And so, yeah, I think that Dogecoin, it is one of the most profitable coins to mine, and whether or not your crypto mining strategy is to mine into Bitcoin, because it seems like a good time to mine into Bitcoin or into USDT or into fiat if you're looking at the dollar profitability figure. If you think it's going to go up further, then you're probably mining into Dogecoin and accumulating Doge, right? For that to go up higher. Many different strategies out there. I can't tell you which one's the best. Everyone's financial situation is different. But when it comes to Scrypt mining, it has been able to sustain decently over the past couple of years, but it's all dependent on Doge. I think the profitability, most of the profit is like, 86, 89% last I calculated. Of course, we're mining Litecoin and merge mining Dogecoin and a bunch of other merge mineable coins that go along with Litecoin, such as we got Pepe coin, we got Bell's coin, and a whole bunch that are merge mining auxiliary coins that are going along with the Litecoin that you are mining. So Litecoin network hash rate is rising. Okay, it is going up substantially, but it's still good. In a sense in which anyone that's trying to get into it now, if you have lower electrical cost, you'll still be able to benefit from it. Hopefully be able to sustain. Let's just say the network hash rate rises another 3 petahash. Well, then we're going to see profits pretty much get cut in half, roughly. Is that going to happen? No, I don't think it's going to rise that drastic, though there are bigger industrial players getting into the Scrypt mining game now, just like Bitcoin, of course, right? Bitcoin's the big dog. Everyone's been getting into mining Bitcoin, but Scrypt mining, Litecoin, Dogecoin is the next best thing. Is going to be the best thing. I think Bitcoin mining is probably already far too gone for the smaller home miner, unless you're getting into all these home miners and, you know, doing the gamble of trying to get a Bitcoin block. And yeah, of course, there's always that factor. People with solar, people with free power. That's really what these are. These are the ones that these miners are tended towards. Coming back to Scrypt, okay, I think that long term it should hopefully sustain, especially if you have lower electrical costs. I personally recommend anyone that's like 9 or 10 cents higher. I probably wouldn't invest in any of these bigger boy miners. It's just, you're not going to be able to make that much money after your electrical cost. And considering that there are a lot of people getting into Scrypt mining and further the network hash rate is climbing, granted, this all is all dependent on Dogecoin's price. And, you know, does it sustain at these levels, high levels? No, it doesn't. Maybe, you know, a good month or two or a couple months it sustains at these peaks, but then it goes down. Right. And you got to consider that the higher electric you have, the more, you know, the more that you'll have to be spending on your electric, of course. And it's going to eat into your profits, and it's not going to bode well for you if you want to make a lot of money somehow, unless you're doing the whole mine and hodl, you know, strategy, which is very hard to time, and you got to front the bill yourself. Right? Yeah, I can't, I know, you know, spending $11,000, $10,000, or let's say, yeah, $10,000 on like a DG2 Plus. I personally would not be doing that because I don't want to put $10,000 down onto a miner, but, you know, someone that's, you know, much bigger scale, industrialized scale, also tax planning as well. Maybe they need more expenses and, you know, they can depreciate this. Running it as a business, of course, is obviously the best thing to do, so that you can depreciate these miners over a year, 3 years, so that it can lower your taxes overall. And, you know, there's a lot of industrial miners, a lot of bigger players out there that, you know, take advantage of tax planning when it comes time to, you know, maybe purchase new miners, right? There's tons of people who do that. And I recommend that is probably the best way to do it in order to lower your taxes while these things are printing money, essentially. And just to let you guys know, I have a decent amount of Scrypt right now. I have about 183 gigahash right now. And you see my DG1 Pluses here. I have them all going into USDT right now. The reason for that, my reasoning is because I'm, you know, able to see some of these miners in dollar profits. It's because I'm able to have that profitability in a sense. And, you know, YouTube's my full-time job. Crypto mining is majority of my income. So this is how I treat it as a business right now. Come the bear market. So yeah, so right now, like I said, I'm accumulating the USDT, you know, for a rainy day, my safety net. And come the bear market, if there is going to be a bear market, or who knows, once I have a good enough safety net, I'm considering, then I switch back. When profitability is not good on these miners, on these big boy miners that I have mining right now, I will be flipping it back to the mine and hodl Dogecoin or something. It depends. It really depends, as well as, you know, where I have these hosted and what my electrical cost is. Another thing to consider is, you know, if the bear market does ensue, okay, is that how much of the hash rate out there is able to, you know, stay on versus the next guy, right? Crypto mining is a very competitive game, zero-sum game. So, you know, there's going to be winners and losers, and depending on people's power cost, it's going to, and depending on how many different miners, Scrypt miners that are still running. A lot of older, inefficient Scrypt miners are definitely still running out there. There's definitely a lot of L7s, so these guys will probably turn off before I do, but it all depends on what their power cost is, right? And so if the bear market ensues, we'll see the hash rate drop, and that's going to be because a lot of older, inefficient miners turn on. You guys can see the rise in the Litecoin network hash rate here, November 2024. This is the first day, the first month when I got my first L9, and this is when the L9s just started coming en masse, right? Coming on the network. So L9s, right? Alphapex during this time as well. Now, I think coming up in the next month or two. We got the L11 Pros, right? Volkminer D3s coming out, right? These are big boy hitters coming out soon. So those bigger industrial players are probably getting into it. They're making a good amount right now, but the efficiency wise, it's marginally better than the L9. So again, depending on your power cost, I think cost dollar per hash, I think the L9 would probably be the better bet, or the L7 if you have like 1 or 2 cents per kilowatt hour. Yeah, you know, a lot of things to consider, just looking at depending on your power cost, right? And so, but I think the L9 should still be a decent play. Alphapex also, I think reliable, like long-term uptime, I think Alphapex is still going to be one of the better bets. That's why I personally got into the Alphapex units. But of course, they're not as efficient as like the L9, but it's marginal. But again, depending on the power cost. Okay, my friends, I think that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Let me know if you guys are Scrypt mining and Rabid mining. I hope you enjoy the DG2 Plus. Thanks to Alphapex for letting me review that for a good month. And all right, I'll see you on the next video. Have a good one. Peace out.